previous minutes meetings are not here. Sean has not, I don't want to say it's not complete enough. He's away tonight. There's no treasurer's report. Sean is the treasurer. The treasurer is away. We do have quorum. At this time, I'd like to propose the following amendment to the bylaws concerning the definition of what the requirements for a quorum are.
John, would you like me to, before you get to that, would you like me to make a motion to waive those? Are you taking that? Is someone taking notes?
I can.
Yeah, take notes.
Yeah, because Sean's not here, somebody should do something.
Yeah, I'll make the motions to waive the reading of both.
Okay.
If that's all right, then we'll have it, it'll be all.
We're good.
Thanks. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, we're
Open the meeting at 19.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start again, so we get it on the record. Meeting's called to order. Big Lake CMS Council meeting called to order at 7:14. We have a quorum present. One member is monitoring and participating by phone on his way to the council. 16 people in attendance. The treasurer is absent. There are no minutes, and that the treasurer has the minutes of the meeting. Recognize Mr. Colangelo.
I make a motion that we waive the reading of the minutes and of the treasurer's report, being that they are not here, and that we continue to dispense with the rest of the business of the meeting.
Do I have a second? Second by Craig Williams. All in favor? Aye. Motion passed.
Now go on.
Okay, it's a team job.
John,
Yes,
is there
sir.
any way we can get the minutes in the future emailed to everybody before the meetings? That gives us time to review them. So that way we're prepared to vote on them when we get here, instead of wasting the time everybody reading them during
Yes.
the meeting. It'd just be easier for
Yes.
everybody.
Yes, we did that 4 months ago.
Okay, well, let's put that behind us from here forward.
You got it. We ready to go with this motion? Okay. I am proposing an amendment to the bylaws concerning the definition of quorum requirements. The motion reads as follows. A quorum shall be deemed present when the chairman, or in his absence, the vice chairman, and 3 Big Lakes REMAC representatives from each of the counties of Niagara, Orleans, and Genesee counties are in attendance. In all instances, except when voting on membership to the council and certificate of need decisions, and at that time, as required by regulation, a quorum shall consist of 1 more than half of the total council's membership. Do I hear a second?
We need it first.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can't put a motion on it.
Okay.
So moved.
By Mr. Greenwald.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Colangelo. Discussion. I would like to clarify that such that everyone recognizes that a quorum would exist in all instances except for con actions and except for membership to the council decisions when 9 members are present, 3 from each of the counties. Any discussion? If there is no discussion, I will call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Thank you very much. I think we've fixed that. Okay, continuing. James, I know there's something we have to get to this evening that you'd like to comment on.
Well, it's a unique situation that's going on. You know, the regional council, so in Erie, we have an agency, it's only the fourth time in the history we know of, EMS and state agencies applying for emergency operating territory for 60 days. An agency from the Big Lakes region applying over the Wyoming, Erie region, the Springville, Concord, that area. There may be a point that you're going to be asked to comment on this, but it's going to be real quick, because the regional council, Wyoming, Erie met last Wednesday night? Yeah. It was like walking into LA Law, I thought. There was lawyers and stenographers, and there must have been 40, 50 people in the room. They received the application, the regional council received it's a petition, it's not an application, it's not a CON. The petition the day before, for action at the council meeting on Wednesday. The council went into executive session, and he came out and tabled the motion, and that's where it stands now, asking for more information. They are scheduled to meet again on September 23rd, to vote on that one way or the other. So there's been a lot of discussion with us and Albany and a lot of parties, lawyers, and it's very unique. So we'll see where it stands, you know.
What are they exactly trying to do?
They're trying to get emergency operating authority for the town of Concord and the village of Springville.
They're not covered now?
They are covered now. They are covered.
Okay.
I think the towns are covered.
They are covered, I believe, and again, I don't want, without my volumes of paper, Rural Metro had a contract, it was through the contract there, I believe July 31st, from the hospital, okay? They are still supplying service to the area with cars right now. So there's still ambulances there. The fire department has an ambulance, Concord has an ambulance. Municipalities are looking to apply for a service. It's very
So
complicated.
they just lost transport from hospital?
There's still, Rural Metro's still there, as of this day. Okay, that's all. You know, I'm not speaking for Rural Metro, I'm just saying in discussion, our utility calls there, yes, we have cars there. They may know more about, the status of ambulances there or not there, I don't know. Right now, there's.
I'm a Falls guy. What happens in the south towns is like what happens.
That's right, you don't have your green card to go to Erie County.
No, I go to Erie County all the time to find out.
But it's a very unique situation, it's only the fourth time it's ever happened, and the last time it was granted during Hurricane Sandy, it was kind of a unique situation, a bridge got taken out somewhere, so they needed operating authority to cover it, because the ambulance couldn't go across this bridge for the next 1 months.
Is it a contract expiration, or is it?
I can't
really
answer
sure.
that.
It's my understanding, this was all, there's been memos and such at work. It's my understanding, I don't know if the contract was expiring and up for renewal, or if this was a termination of an existing contract. That I don't know. It's my understanding that the terms of what Bertrand Chaffee Hospital wanted of the company were more than the company was willing to provide, and the company declined to renew or continue or whatever the contract. It would have been giving away the farm. Basically, the hospital wanted an ambulance there 24/7 at their disposal.
And the numbers I saw, the calls answered, is about 1,200 to 1,300 a year transports.
That's not just the hospital, that's the
No,
entire, that's the town,
I know.
village.
Right, that's everything, that's not just the hospital. Because the hospital's not that big of a hospital, if you sense the census on it. But it's just something unique, the regional council was a little caught off guard. They don't have a application or petition fee. to cover costs. That's something you may wanna think about next time you do bylaws. You know, expansion of territory and or a emergency operating, you got to review, you gotta do, you know, there's stenographers there, with the other council hired a lawyer, they hired Mr. Butler. You know, so, I mean, that's just something you may wanna look down the line, putting into your bylaws in case this happens.
Actually, we do have that in the bylaws. It's $5,000 fee
For a CON.
for CON and $1,500 for an expansion of territory. Greg, help me, 4 years ago?
And this
maybe?
one, but in this one, you need to come up with a third is emergency operating authority.
Okay.
Because it's not an expansion of territory, it's an emergency operating authority. Because expansion can be considered contiguous, this is not contiguous, of their operating territory right now.
Emergency expansion of operating territory.
It's in,
No,
it's emergency authority for 60 days. It's under 3010.1, I believe.
3010.
You have to just double check it. We've killed 100 trees on this already. There is a,
So back to the beginning of your statement, this affects this council.
well, it may, because I think the other council may be asking questions. Does this affect the council by a service in
In
this
our
region now operating in another region? I don't know if that's a valid legal thing, but I heard rumblings or maybe questions of that asked of this council. Was this council, you know, consulted, you know, asked, you know, I don't know,
It's a 60-day term, 60 days. or
60
whatever.
days.
Actually, if you remember,
Well, what they have to do, the agency then would apply for a full CON,
And you can't do that. in 60
or a
days.
muni CON, you could.
Okay.
There's talk about muni CONs too.
if you,
We only get involved technically at the end on the council vote. I'm just advising what potentially could be happen. People that were at the meeting last Wednesday, I've never seen so many people in the South Wales Fire Hall. It was SRO,
So,
you know. There was a lot of suits and ties and, lawyers and that going on.
How, you brought up the muni CON, how would that work in this case? Because the municipality would hold it, but would hold it for a certain ABC
Then they get
agency,
contract
or?
out, like Wyoming County holds a CON, Wyoming County Emergency Services, but they subcontract with Monroe.
Gotcha, okay. I
The
figured
ambulances
there
would
had to be
say-
some subcontracting in there. but
Wyoming
that's-
County Emergency Services, you know, outside the ambulances, they hold all the tickets, no different than, you know, here, or, you know, Twin City, you know, you hold the whole liability on the ambulance service. And
I didn't
so-
think of the muni CON point, but that's a good point.
I think there's a
Just
couple,
Sorry?
I'm sorry, I think there's a couple of things to come to point on this. Number one, this has already happened to us before with the Monroe issue, or the adjoining council, the Monroe Council, REMSCO.
That wasn't an emergency, they were just looking for
John.
expansion.
Yep, let me finish first. They were looking for an expansion. It's not an emergency, but the fact that one ambulance service was taking a greater interest or activity had the potential of having an impact on the service delivered in their county. In this particular case, we have an issue where a service that is established in Genesee County is looking to, whatever the appropriate word is, expand, grow, serve a need into another county on an immediate basis. So what is the net effect going to be in Genesee? How is the Genesee County Emergency Management Coordinator, or how are the people in Genesee County going to make up for any theoretically perceived deficiencies as a result of this immediate growth?
And the agency may have that already planned out.
Exactly.
The answers to that, okay? But technically, this would take effect on, September 24th, the day after the vote, or the night of the vote. It would take effect pretty much within a day or so.
So one of the things that we need to be looking at ASAP is there going to be an impact on operations in Genesee County? I mean, if you're, I don't know, if you're not growing, that means you have to be spreading your pot a little thinner. You can eventually buy more ambulances, you can eventually hire more people. That's a fact of life, just shed money. But how is this gonna impact Genesee County? That's where our role is. So possibly, I'll reach out to the chair at, Erie, Wyoming, Mr. Gill, and ask him for whatever paperwork he can send us. In the meantime, we're gonna have to throw a bunch of people together to take a look at it. Do I have any volunteers before I appoint you? Nobody wants to volunteer?
No, I'll step up for Genesee County. It's gonna impact our area.
Good man.
I mean, I think it's important to have Genesee County people on it, so.
Well, I'd be willing to be on the committee, but
You may have,
obviously there may be a conflict because
okay,
it's my agency.
And I have that same issue, so.
Does
okay.
Genesee County even know about this? Because nothing was brought up last week at the EMS council meeting there,
I got surprised this morning
so.
with a call from an attorney's office.
It's been kind of a whirlwind kind of thing. It's,
I've never heard of anything so fast. There has to be, pardon my humor, people dropping dead in the street.
Well, they need an ambulance.
Is there no ambulance?
There is,
Rural Metro decides to just stop, which they probably can, if they're making changes. or
Did they
want-
withdraw their operations?
No.
No.
All they
No.
did,
And there's still town contracts in place, correct?
all they did was terminate their contract with Birch and Tree. They still are contracted with the village of Springville and the town of Concord.
Right, let me,
And if Bertrand Chafee picks up the phone and says, we need an ambulance, they'll get an ambulance.
They're
It
still
may not be
responding.
right this
The
minute.
only thing that changes the billing purpose, they change the contract, so they can go back and charge the usual and customary rate. So the hospital or the patient has to pay more. The
Well,
only thing they did.
I'm not an expert, we've had a lot of experience in here, but it sounds like somebody might have a hard time proving or satisfying the requirement of need.
For the emergency CON, yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. I'll help you, I've worked with you. I'll volunteer Sean Downing, who's not here. He's from your area.
Yeah,
I
and he
believe
might know something about it already.
he may do that. Like to get another body of if possible, so this thing is balanced. I'm Niagara, they're Genesee, we need somebody from Orleans,
A former employee, no.
okay? Anybody else?
I'm not calling that employee.
Right. I would prefer it be no one attached to.
We'll get
Just-
together after.
just for neutrality.
Suggest someone. Okay?
There's enough people from Orleans Council we can come up with.
Okay, come up with a person. All right. Is there anything else that anybody wants to put in a priority setting?
I believe you have a sponsorship to be voted on? Okay, just wanna make sure.
All right, I'm just gonna rip through these. We've got a notification for a pad from the chapel at Lockport. Mr. Steele, I sent that to you, so that goes to the REMAC next? Or is that all taken care of? Go straight to the state. That's done. I've got a package long form renewal application from Central Orleans Volunteer Ambulance Company. I've actually already written a letter to the state, sent them an electronic copy, told them that I really didn't see any objection as to why it shouldn't be approved, just in case this meeting fell apart. And I would now, if no one objects, like to entertain a motion to renew their core sponsorship. If anybody wants to look at it, it's here. Whatever you like.
Which one are we doing? You said you brought up Chapel Lockport. Are we voting on that first?
That's done.
Okay,
We don't have to do that.
so we're voting on,
COVA's
COVA,
core sponsorship.
Orleans Volunteer Ambulance,
And-
COVA sponsorship.
is their application complete?
Yes.
Okay, we can look at.
You don't look at it. We look at it.
And
I went through it, sent it up to the state.
it's already.
They've already got it.
Okay, Then I make
We
a
need
mo-
a letter of recommendation.
I make a motion that we recommend COVA's,
Core
Recommend
sponsorship
approval
Yeah,
of
cool.
COVA's core sponsorship by Mr. Colangelo, seconded by John Miller. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Next issue that needs to be tackled is that I received a copy of a BLSFR agency information application update from Holly Joint Fire District. The minute this came in, I also scanned this and immediately sent it. Thank you very much, we owe you. Jason, find you a beer, if you drink.
They should score two or three.
How would you like the Welsh?
Okay, from Holly, I talked to the state, but they tell me all they need is a letter of a recommendation. This will allow, and I talked to the individual tonight before I came up here, Kevin, this will allow them to re-qualify and get an agency number so their people can, people will not be billed for their EMS training.
You need a motion to accept.
Motion made to accept it, write a letter of recommendation by Mr. Prozalone, seconded by Cheryl Confer. All in favor?
Aye.
Done. Another pad application, just a notification. This is from the Oakfield Youth Athletics. It came in, it was immediately sent to Andrew. There's nothing we need to do with it. It's in Andrew's ballpark. We held a meeting on July 1st with representatives of the council's executive board to interview Dr. Lundberg's recommendation to the REMAC. We talked with Jason, we talked with Alex. We questioned him on his position regarding the level 3s. We questioned him in regards to what his feelings were in opinion. We had a pretty good discussion. It lasted about 30 minutes. At the end of the meeting, it was the consensus of the executive board that we approved his appointment to the REMAC. That was done on July 13th. At the last council meeting, you recommended that we renew the course sponsorships of Niagara University, Ortown Florida Fire, Genesee County Office of Emergency Management, and also authorize the change in course sponsorship administrator for COVA. That was done on July 11th. That was sent in certified mail. For some reason, I received an agency registration form from the Kendall Fire Department. I've never got one of those. I don't see a place for us to take any action. That I also sent to Albany to make sure that it was in place. So that's been done. That required a signature. I've done that. That's finished. On August 25th, 24th, I received notification from the town of Wheatfield that they were adding a PAD program. That was sent to Andrew again for inclusion. That was completed, so that's done. I have renewed the post office box for Big Lakes at the university to the tune of $33. And I'm going to be looking for reimbursement on that. Okay. Yep. All the courses have already started. They're in place. I'm not going to take time to go through that. And we've actually covered everything else at the June meeting. So that takes care of the action that had to be carried out tonight. Is anyone aware of any other action that needs to be carried out? James?
Just a reminder, vital signs come up next month,
Okay?
so the hotels are already sold out.
Most of them are. Most of them are.
What's the dates on it, Sean? I know I came out last night.
It's in Syracuse.
Syracuse.
21, 22.
Yeah, the 22 to the 25th, 22nd to the 25th of October.
Thank you.
For free conference.
I'd like to give you an update on a couple of things. The executive board met. We discussed the signing of the state contract. I signed the state contract, mailed it in, got a immediate response within about 30 seconds saying, thank you for sending it in. Please send in the following additional information. I need to go to an accountant. I would like authorization from this floor tonight to go contact an accountant so we can satisfy the compensation insurance requirement of the contract. I'm charging this to my personal credit card, but I just want to make sure that I get it reimbursed. So if someone will entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Williams makes the motion to allow me to go to an accountant to take care of the compensation portion of this, workman's compensation. Seconded by Jason Spencer. Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. I received a nice email, actually a telephone call from former Chairman Mike Mack to advise me that the State Controller's Office was looking to audit our $25,000. So I contacted the State Controller's Office, spoke with probably one of the nicest state employees I've ever met in my life.
Hey.
With the exception of Mr. Mahalko, and told her I thought this was the most ridiculous thing in the world I'd ever heard. And she chuckled. We had a nice conversation. We're not being audited. We're exempt. Not enough money. So that took care of that. Can you believe that? Unbelievable. Project Gateway, I'm at probably 90%. My goal is to finish it before January 1st, because they won't send us any money until we finish it. But by going to the accountant and doing a couple of things, I should have that finalized. There's something else called Project B. I don't know what it is yet, but we'll jump on that one next when it pops up. That. I haven't gotten a cell phone, but the cell phone is in the works because the state health department wants us to have a specific number that they can refer to. So that's the next project. That's going to be what they call a throwaway cell phone. I've talked to the treasurer about that. We're setting that up. It's the only way to do that. That's all I have. Does anybody have anything else? Yes, sir.
CIC course?
Yes. CIC.
Dates?
Yes. Okay. 13, 14, 21 of November, right?
Yes.
Thank you. And Mr. Gill and I are in the process of trying to schedule a CLI for January or February. I don't know if he's contacted you yet. He
So
has.
probably have the CIC, but it'll work out. It's opening funny weekend on the 21st.
Okay.
Do you think you're gonna have that course? Because I've got 5 guys that are gonna take.
Yeah, it's a goal.
No, because a lot of them, I know they contacted you.
Go ahead.
And didn't receive any response back yet on the dates.
Okay,
Greg Island.
actually, what I
But
done is.
I've got my guys now, 2 or 3 of them have already signed up for the Montour Falls, and the rest are following because they haven't heard back.
You know, Greg, with all due respect, I get an email, get a phone call, talk to the fellow on the telephone, get an email the next day, and take maybe 1 or 2 days to get back to see how things are going.
I just talked to them
Wait a
today, and I
minute,
know
wait a
I've
minute,
had time
wait a
off,
minute.
it's been a week
Wait a minute,
approximately.
I'll send you all the copies.
No, that's fine, they want me
I
to come
just
here
find it a
tonight.
little, no disrespectful. I just find it a little irritating, in all honesty, that I'm not moving fast enough. And it's not coming from you, because I get it from other people too. I'm trying. I truly am.
I just don't wanna tell these, I'm just looking for it, yes, it's done, because if I tell these guys it's definitely gonna happen, and then it gets canceled and they can't get into the Montour Falls one, then they're not gonna be happy, and we're
When's the
down,
Montour Falls one?
it's, I think, right around the same time frame.
We have no idea what that.
So I think there was a comment about that, one guy might not be able to go to its own for the weekend of deer season too.
I had 6 applications, I believe, from your department in March of 15, maybe 5. Guys that were gonna come.
And that's why they're not willing to stick it there.
They never registered. At least 3 out of 4. I can send you that stuff too. So I'm not trying to embarrass you or anybody else. What I'm trying to say is this. Somebody says they're gonna do something, okay, unless I get a piece of paper. We were all set to go with that and had to bail out because we had 2 people.
I was told it was canceled.
It was 2 people.
Can't do that.
You can't do it on 2 people. I can bring up,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do you think you're gonna have enough this time? Because I know
That's
that
what
one
we
was
think.
canceled, and that's what their concern is. They don't wanna sign up for yours if there's a good chance it's gonna be canceled, when they're pretty much guaranteed that.
is there a guarantee that Montour Falls is gonna be canceled?
It sounds like they bring in,
Is there, there's guarantee?
call it what you want. I'm not gonna say.
I don't know.
with it. Last time, they were gonna go in the spring, it was canceled. So-
It's a go. If it's gonna be a money loser, it's gonna get canceled.
Okay, so.
Okay, that's being honest.
It's gonna be held at the, Edgar County Public Safety.
We already have the building, we already have the place.
And
I
I
had
think
a-
Greg's trying to draw from, what we're trying to do is only like a CIC, a regional type thing, because there isn't a huge, just do like,
Yep.
every, couple years, like 2 years, so hopefully we're gonna draw from the Wyoming Erie region by having it at, public safety for the lock. That's what we're trying to do.
No, and I understand that, because I know down there in Montour Falls, you're getting from all directions. Yeah.
I didn't even know they were running a class
Yeah.
down there.
No, so I'm just, I don't wanna tell them, I'd rather keep them here locally.
But as of
if
right
it's
now,
gonna be
it's a
canceled-
go, but again, we only have, if you got 5 people, that's a good start. We have, if we get another 5 to 7 people, that'd be a nice class.
What do you need for a minimum for a class?
John, what's your cut, he's a sponsor, I don't know.
Okay, we're looking for a minimum 8 people. And that's not a big number.
The interesting thing is, I remember when we all did this many years ago, we had standing room only for the classes, like 30, 40 people. Now, we're having a hard time, filling a class every 2 or 3 years.
I mean,
That's the,
you're
and we
looking
need CICs, Erie County really, so I think Greg's really gonna do a push, because he's a core sponsor for Erie County Health, to push for people from Erie County to come to this hall. So I think it's 75%, that's gonna go. Until the opening day, the funny, my wife's birthday, but I'll be there. Divorced and no deer.
So what you're telling us that you have 5 definite commitments.
Then they're going to a class somewheres. I've got 2 or 3 of them that have already signed up down there.
Okay, so you got 3.
Well,
See, this is where it gets difficult.
that's because they couldn't even get a date yet. Nobody knew the dates.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm just telling you, I'm passing on.
That's fine, I'm not confused.
There's phone calls and emails, and he told me this morning, you hadn't gotten back, so find out what the dates are tonight. If not, he's gonna sign up for the one in Montour Falls.
Why don't we discuss this after?
Okay, that's fine.
Any other business? I would like to hold a meeting the second Wednesday of the next month, which would be November. It's in the middle of the week. Veterans Day, a holiday? Okay. So that's the 11th. How
It's
about,
Veterans Day, right?
how about the 4th of November?
I don't know how many people attended, but that's the arson conference. I'm not sure.
And I had the other regional company, we had the other regional
Okay.
company.
Then the only other thing left is the 18th. That's the third Wednesday in November.
Andy, do you wanna talk about the instructor update with Shelby?
Yes, everybody, got that. There's not another CIU around this whole, like, region, essentially, coming up until, what, January for NU.
4th, the last Saturday of the month in January.
And we have a pretty good presenter coming in, Paul Werfel, if anybody has, Paul Werfel. If anybody's gone to Vital Signs, he's a great presenter there. So it's the 26th. You don't have to be an instructor as well, because you can get 7 hours of CME. And we have the forms right there on the table if you didn't get them, and just register right online. 8 to 4 on Saturday, 26th.
Thank you. Please be sure to pick up program agencies report. We'll start mailing things out by email. We'll start cleaning house in regards to members that don't come or who have had a history of poor performance. And we'll bring those to you, and you can decide what action you want to take. Any other business? Any other business? I'll entertain yes, sir.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Chief. Seconded by John Frozzalone. Sir, first name?
Justin.
We owe Justin and Jason both a great debt for making this meeting possible and hopefully setting us on a new path for attendance. Remember that it only takes 3 from each council to be here now in order to have a quorum. And quite frankly, that means if you don't come, you might not be protected, right? Humor. Motion adjourned. Meeting adjourned.